Alright guys, welcome back to some more Faction Frenzy here. We're here with our second set of matches here. It's going to be Classic Metal and Freak Spot versus the Will Gamer 99 and Firewolf. Alright, what do you guys think about this matchup here?
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Classic Metal brings to this. Of course, the squirrels have been nerfed. Classic Metal's favorite strategy, giant balls of squirrels, will still be useful, maybe not quite as useful as it was before. But we'll see what happens. Of course, Classic Metal and Free Spot, both players that have played a lot. I think they have a little bit more experience on their side compared to the Will Gamer and Firewolf, but that remains to be seen. Of course, it's a whole different ballgame when you get to 2v2, because your communication and your coordination with your partner matters a lot more.
Okay, this will be an interesting game. Classic Metal and Freak Spot, or Public, as he's known now, have more experience with the game. Will and Firewolf are newer, although I do believe in their ability to come up with some decent strats. So we have Classic Metal and Public playing Archimedes and Quartermaster, Will and Firewolf going for Battlefield and Hopper.
Yeah, Will Gamer grabbing that artillery. We haven't seen artillery out in this game, but definitely in the late game, artillery can make a huge difference in 2v2. Freak Spot and Classic Metal, of course. You see squirrels from Classic Metal and Freak Spot. Will Gamer has only taken moles as his tier 1. It's an interesting design move. Firewolf's going to be more heavily tier 1 this game, I guess, to compensate. Or else they'll be a little bit underperforming compared to Classic Metal and Freak Spot.
I am curious how Firewolf and Will plan to work together to make Will's moles work. Anyway, let's take a look at the map here. Interesting split. Firewolf and Will to the northeast, Classic Metal and Public to the southwest, with a nice hill going down the middle, and the expansions spread pretty evenly.
Yeah, this is interesting. Classic Metal and Freak Spot are separated by a line of trees. There is a little bit of a way around back, but their reinforcements are going to be a little bit split, trying to come in if one side gets attacked and not the other. They're going to have to decide which side to defend and which side to kind of leave alone, or they're just going to be on their own during a lot of fights, which is going to be interesting compared to the Will Gamer and Firewolf, who will have an easier time reinforcing each other should they get attacked.
Yes, the map does force Classic Metal and Public to sort of fight each on his own lane, although they can join forces and take the hill in the middle, which also has a number of expansion signs, which would be good for map control.
All right, the Will Gamer has gone for 6 farm balloon, which is a strategy that I've never seen before. Of course, that balloon will give increased vision, as well as a little bit of defense from early attacks. Of course, that balloon is going to have a hard time against a massive tier 1s because it's lots of damage is wasted on tier 1s which have low health.
That is true. The balloon is, however, a good deterrent for scouting early on, as the commander has really low health. However, Classic Metal and Public are building up their armies quickly, so that balloon will not be effective for long.
Yeah, second balloon going up for the Will Gamer, very nicely spaced to shut down the other entrance, and it's on the high ground, so Free Spot does not see it at this time, coming in with those lizards around, and it is up now. Lizards are going to start attacking, and Firewolf is going to be hard-pressed to try and defend. The balloon does go down, but a lot of the lizards go down all at once as well. It looks like that the second balloon is almost down as well. There it goes, down, and only a few squirrels left alive, but they're going to start chipping away at the base here. And Firewolf is going to have to run and be the firefighter, so to speak, to come in and try and defend the space that the Will Gamer has taken. Meanwhile, Free Spot coming in from the side with the rest of his tier 1 army, and it looks like the Will Gamer's base is not long for this world, especially because the Will Gamer has no units out on the field at the moment.
Indeed, it may seem that going for moles only for tier 1 may have been a pretty unfortunate choice. Plus of a really early expansion, instead of maybe investing in more defenses, that would have helped a little bit. Although Classic Metal and Public's forces join together, it's gonna be... I don't think they really have a chance, to be honest.
And early elimination from the Will Gamer. Something you can notice that that food counter there is stuck at not stuck at 300. It was all the way up to 300. So he had lots of food and he had moles. He could have had some sort of army to defend with, but unfortunately didn't place them down in time. He tried to go for another expansion, but of course that expansion has to be fully up before the your last expansion falls down in order for it to count. If it's still building, you still lose the game, unfortunately. So Fire Gamer is left in a very difficult position. 6 farms to 16. So Classic Metal and Free Spot have 10 more farms and a whole lot of army value.
The Classic Metal and Public are going for a huge tier 1 bowl. It will be real difficult for Firewolf to keep up. He has 12 scrolls and a few pigeons, plus the pigs, although that may not be that effective. Probably not at all, actually.
All right, and here we go. The horde of yellow and green moving across the field and taking game 1 for Classic Metal and Freak Spot. That was an unfortunate first game for the Will Gamer and Firewolf. I definitely think that putting those balloons up was a little bit too much of an investment without Firewolf to try and defend that. You kind of held on for a little bit, but those balloons just don't quite put out enough DPS quickly enough in order to take down hordes of tier 1s in the early game.
The balloons are better deterrent against scouting, not as good as a deterrent against tier 1 armies. So they did their job at holding off the enemy commanders from scouting, but as soon as the squirrels and lizards kicked in, there wasn't much Firewolf and Will could do.
Yeah, might have worked out a little bit better if they were machine gun turrets, which fire faster than the balloons, although they have less DPS. They do output it a little bit faster, so there's less of a time window. You're able to take out more.
Not to mention that for the cost of 1 balloon, you can build 2 machine gun nests.
Very true. Here we go into army selection